You're listening to the Young Talk podcast by First Church Young Adults.
Welcome back to today's episode of Young Talk Podcast. I'm Paris and I'm here with Brandon, Micah, and Sharan. And today we're going to be talking about setting the atmosphere. Woo! So, my question is, what is your atmosphere? And what does that even mean?
I feel like that question that you asked, what is your atmosphere? I feel like that's something that when you're around a group of people or you're around a setting of people, there's a way that you want them to feel around you. Meaning, for me, personal example, is I like to make people laugh in a sense, making them feel good, making them feel welcome. So I guess the atmosphere that I would bring to a setting would be that, like, being very approachable and just
That's good.
Conversational.
Approachable.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like, I try to just make people feel like welcomed and like try to connect with them quick, because when you connect with someone, it makes them feel seen or like important. But yeah, I think that would be. But going off what Brandon said.
Yeah, I feel like we said this in one of our previous episodes where it's like people aren't going to remember what you said to them, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. So I think it's really important to be intentional about the atmosphere that you're putting out there and how you're making people feel. And yeah, I try to keep that in mind and be intentional about that.
So on the flip side of it, what kind of atmosphere or environment, I guess you could say, do you thrive in individually?
Speaking as an introvert, I could be in a quiet. No, I'm just kidding. I thrive in kind of what we have going on here. I mean, we're just talking.
Yeah.
We're just talking about some topics, some ideas, questions, whatever, and genuinely having fun, seeing each other's point of view from these topics and stuff. So I thrive with
Like-minded
fun,
people,
yeah, like-minded people with the fun, with the activity. It's weird because I am an introvert, so I do also not like it in a way, like in a sense, because it drains the battery. But I love it in a sense because we're better together, and I know I need this in the end. So of course,
Yeah, I would say that honestly, I feel like I can thrive and be good in like any setting, because I don't know. I would say like I'm not an introvert or like super extrovert, whatever. But I just like I know when to like, let's just say we're in a big group setting. Mm-hmm. Like I know like when to be like outgoing and like try to make people feel involved and like connect and feel important. And if I'm okay with just like being by myself or like with people, like one or two people. Like I'm just in any environment or setting, I feel like I know how to adapt in a way. Yeah, so I would just say I know how to adapt, and I'm perfectly fine with that. There's not one setting where I feel left out or like where like I'm kind of like standoffish. I feel like I'm okay in anyone.
I feel that.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I don't. What did you say? That you can adapt? Yeah. It's hard for me to adapt. So like if I'm needing to do something creative or come up with ideas and brainstorm, I'm going to take myself to a cool coffee shop where there's a vibe and stuff, because I don't know, that helps me sometimes. If I'm sitting in my house or like I don't feel very creative, like I think whatever environment I'm in, it puts me in different moods. So like even when I'm home and I light a candle, it just makes me feel so much better. It changes the atmosphere.
Yeah. I light a candle every day I come home from school.
It just makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I open up my blinds, make my bed. Like, I'm so serious. And then I'll sit and do my homework.
Yes.
Or I go to First Cup. Everyone catches me at First Cup. It's like a known thing at my school. Paris is at First Cup studying. I know. I'm sure we got a cup in here somewhere.
Oh, I see one back there.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Anyways. I think for me, growing up, I used to always be so extroverted. And I don't know, I feel like now I am extroverted, but now, like, even going to youth rallies, I find myself like, okay, I'm kind of ready to leave. Like, I don't know, I feel like maybe with age, I'm just getting a little more, I don't know, introverted?
Like laid back, chill?
Yeah, I feel like more chill. Because used to, I'd be like, I'm gonna stay up all night, you know. But I feel like that's all kids. I don't know.
Are any of y'all flexible in the challenging realm of things? Like if there's something that challenges you, that causes you to get outside yourself, outside your character, your personality. Not anything bad, working with personality. Well, that could be a thing. Working with personalities, and I don't know, just a challenging scenario. Like for example, I'm very outside the box. Some people like to be challenged. They give me whatever you got. I'm not like that. I feel like I retract, and it's something I'm working on. But in an atmosphere that's challenging, I'm like, I need to process it. I have to give me 3 days or something. I don't know, like before you expect me to come, like give an answer or give this or give that in a challenging scenario. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one.
No, I get what you're saying. Like if there's like something that, like, you can say if I'm wrong or not, but something that you're like uncomfortable with or something that challenges you, want to have time to prepare for that.
Yeah, I need to process.
Rather than just jumping right into it, like jumping into the water or fire. Like
some people can do it.
Yeah. But no, I like that. I like being in those environments too, because I don't know, like people say like if you're like the smartest person in the room, then
you need it.
Yeah, yeah. So like I like being like in certain groups, like you may be that person, but you need to have like different environments or places you can go in order to grow, right? Like if you're always that friend that's mentoring or like pouring in, but you're not getting nothing, you're just always like giving, you need to find something. Like it's okay to like still be cool with them, but find another group or somebody that's gonna help you grow. Like that makes you uncomfortable in order to grow into that next step, you know, for your better health or whatever.
That's good.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been in an atmosphere or an environment that has impacted you negatively?
Oh, absolutely. Let's talk about high school.
Yeah. High school's rough.
Yep.
High school's rough.
Man, go for it. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just gonna say, I'm being real with y'all. I feel like I personally do not do well with peer pressure, and that's something I had to learn through high school, is learning how to navigate it and learning from it. So everyone, you always learn, but now I feel like I know where to draw the line with some things that I maybe entertain or people I talk to. So yeah, I definitely have been in negative atmospheres or negative friend groups too.
Yes.
But kind of going back to atmosphere real quick, I am the worst person when it comes to dealing with awkward conversations. So like, how do y'all like navigate that? Because I will literally just laugh. I'm the worst person. If something awkward happens, I cannot help but laugh.
What about if it's serious?
Like at a funeral?
I do not like
I always get the giggles at funerals, or like, y'all, this is so bad. Communion.
What? That's messed up.
Communion, I always like, I'm holding in a laugh. It's just because everyone crunches at the same time, and everyone takes, the drink at the same time, and it's just like, and
it's supposed to be like a real intimate moment, like
it's just that's awkward.
You can't explain those moments.
You can't.
You don't know why.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Me, I don't do well in awkward situations.
Why funerals? Why do you?
It's because you're not supposed to laugh. Like,
so you laugh?
No, I don't laugh just to laugh. But like, if something I don't know, just if there's a mess up or something, it's just like I'm not supposed to laugh.
You know you're not supposed to laugh.
Yes.
That's the thing that triggers you, and it's like it does the opposite. Like it triggers you to do the opposite. You end up laughing because
is it because it's like a quiet setting, or
it's
like
quiet.
You just know like
no, it's the intrusive thoughts is what it is.
Yes.
I'll be sitting there. I kid you not, I'll sit there and be like, what if they just like got up out of that casket? Like what if they're not dead? Like I just have crazy intrusive thoughts like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. No, I get it. I really don't do well in awkward situations. Like I remember we had a small group at our house with a bunch of younger girls, and I really try to connect with younger girls like age 13, 14, 15. And it's so hard for me. I don't know why. I really, really try. And so I remember they were in a group talking about something, and I just kind of walked in the group And even my husband Josh was watching all of this happen. I walked into the group conversation to just be a part, you know, and I'm just kind of looking around and they start looking at me and I'm just like, so it's been cold out, huh? And they're just like, was looking at me like this and oh my gosh, I literally walked away from the conversation. I'm like, why did I do that? Like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? I'm horrible with small talk.
Yeah.
Horrible with small talk.
yeah.
I can't do it.
I'm not great with small talk.
No.
I feel like, Micah, you're really good at navigating awkward conversations. Like, I've even seen it happen. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Really?
in what way? I mean, I've been told I can like talk to people kind of, but
I can talk to people.
I mean, like it's just it don't bother me. Like
Yeah.
I can talk about anything and then just try to make that person feel like comfortable and not make it feel awkward. You know?
You know who's really good at awkward conversations? Trey Weatherly.
What?
Oh.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because he can just make any type of conversation. That kid could talk to a wall. I mean, we all know that. We love him. But I'm just saying, like, I admire people like that. Like, I don't
Yes.
know. I just can't. I turn the other way. I really can't.
There's people like I don't know, like it just makes them feel uncomfortable being around like a lot of people, or like it just, I guess like you said, like for introverts it drains them or they're like real uncomfortable, you know, but just I don't know. Because I feel like there was a point where I used to be like real like to myself and introverted, but as I got older I realized like the importance, like I started to come out my shell and like talking to people and just like learning that, you know, how to communicate to people. So I think that helped me a lot. But I know like when to like lay back and when to, you know, input. So I think learning that is important too, because some people they just need to
Yes.
be quiet
That's
because they
very
just be
true.
talking too much, like, or they'll just start talking about random stuff, or like they'll talk, you know, it's just, so learning when to like input and like output or set back, like when you're gonna conversate. I think learning that is a good.
It's an art. It really
Yeah.
is. I'm sure I know there's books about it, about communication and stuff like that. And it really is an art, and something to master is the art of communicating with someone and
Yes.
conversating. But yeah, I'm trying to work on my small talk
Yeah.
Yeah.
techniques. It's hard.
Those people kind of revert the conversations back to themselves every time.
Oh,
You-
yeah.
You're talking about something just generic. I mean, it could be the day, it could be your day, what you're gonna eat, or your the weather. I don't know. And somehow they always, in an awkward fashion, revert it back to themselves. Oh yeah, so I one day went like is like how do y'all? Is that just me? I mean,
It's a pet peeve for
it's
sure.
It's a work thing for me. Like now that you know, I'm kind of getting familiar with the faces around the office. I'm learning different. We're talking about atmosphere, so different atmosphere, like different people, their personality, and man, it's like. Okay, like we're talking about cheese. How do we get on you? Like I don't know, like it's all random, you know. I don't know.
They're like self-motivated
That's so
or
funny.
whatever, like just want to make it about them.
Yeah.
So why is our atmosphere important then? I think you. I think you kind of just answered it. Like you talked about how it made you feel, how it's like a pet peeve. I feel like that kind of answers it. Like our atmosphere is important because it affects how other people may think about themselves, or
How they, how they feel.
Yeah, I think you're creating some kind of a invitation, like with the way you are and your personality. Like you're going to be either approachable or not approachable,
Yeah.
depending on like how you convey your, or how you say it. How do you put yourself out
put
there?
yourself.
So I feel like the way you carry yourself and your demeanor, your all those things add up to your atmosphere, add up to who you are, what you're bringing in a social setting. So to be aware of who you are and those things allows you to also be aware of those around you and how you make them feel. I hope that I answered that question. Did I
No,
answer
you
that
did.
question?
You did.
Okay, because I
It's really good.
I did that thing again from the last.
What are some ways that you guys think that you can improve your atmosphere and, you know, shift things and make people feel good around you?
That's a good question.
Oh man,
I don't know. Maybe it just depends. Like, I don't know if this is the question you're asking, but trying to feel like make people feel like atmosphere for us ourselves or other people, like
Other people.
like making them feel like involved. I feel like, because like let's just say like we're in a group and we're all talking and I see like there's someone that's not like talking as much. Like I'll ask them like, well, what do you think about this? Or like try to let them like feel involved. So like they change the whole atmosphere on how that person will like interact with everyone else, and they might open up and you might learn something new about them. And I think it all goes back to like also when you're doing ministry or serving or trying to witness to someone, like trying to make like connecting with people, like it really gets them to like open up to you and like trying to see where they're at, you know? So setting that atmosphere to where people feel comfortable and feel seen and just interacting, you know, I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered that question, but it's...
I think I want to add to in my atmosphere being relatable, and I don't want to say I want to know everything, but one thing I admire about Pastor Tyler is that he can talk about anything. Like he pretty much knows a bit of, you know, he might not deep dive into it, but he can touch on it. He can talk about it.
Yeah.
So for me to add to my atmosphere, add to my social caliber, I guess I don't know what you want to call it, but I want to be relatable in topics. I want, like, if somebody is sitting, kind of like what Mike was saying, somebody's kind of left out over here, and the reason being is nobody knows how to talk to them because their topics are a little different. You know, they might be a little out there with the things they like to talk about. Let's say if I kind of know a little bit about it, then, you know, hey, we can probably go back and forth a little bit. So my goal this year is to learn more and to be more relatable. That's one of the things that Pastor Tyler wanted us to do or to be, is more relatable. You know, research. You know, read read different topics. Just learn about what goes on around us, so that, you know, we can talk about it with those who, you know, may want to.
Yeah. I heard I heard a quote. My dad actually would tell me all the time, and y'all tell me if I'm saying this backwards, but it was be a thermostat, not a thermometer.
Yeah.
So if you go into a room, you set the tone. Like if you feel a weird vibe in a room, change it. You know, like go in there, bring in energy, bring in love. You know, bring in celebration in any room that you're in, at school, work, church, whatever. So that's something I try to keep in mind, is like if I'm going into a room with a bunch of people, like what's the energy like? If it's a little, let me try to go in there and let me encourage people. Let me talk to people. Let me make people feel good about, you know, their day or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So what do you feel like, okay, looking from an outside perspective, what is some signs that they have a good atmosphere, they have a healthy atmosphere? And what are some signs that they don't, or that you don't?
For me, I mean, like you said, like there's just some people I just enjoy being around. And so like I just know they have a good atmosphere. They make me feel good. They like to hear what I have to say. They breathe life into me. You know, like I think those are the people that, and I may not be able to pinpoint what it is that they do that gives them a good atmosphere, or, you know, an enjoyable presence, but I find that the people I enjoy being around the most are those with good atmospheres.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like people with... You're about to say something?
Oh, I'm about to ask what was the question.
Hold on. Well, I like people with like real motivated and driven like atmospheres, and like someone that's gonna like help me to go, you know, farther, you know. So being in the atmosphere like that, or when people have negative atmospheres, I don't like that. Like people are always negative, you know, talking down.
It's
on certain
draining.
things. Yeah, it's just like, man, I don't want to be close to you. Or like, I mean, I want to help you, but if you're always constantly being like that, then that can affect like you know.
So,
like it'll put a ceiling on it.
So how can you navigate that if, let's say, perhaps you have a family member, your mother or your father, your sister, your brother, you live with that? How do you navigate? Like, let's just say your mom is really negative, or your dad.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, how do you correct it? Do you?
I think it goes back to like, I don't think you can correct someone's attitude or atmosphere, but trying to be that example, like the same way it goes for someone who's not saved or not in church. You know, they might be real negative and real, you know, down because, and all, like if they don't got God in their life, you know, they could be just the overall like negative person. So trying to like represent Christ inside of you and just being happy and joyful and just trying to represent who God is, it might like it'll set the atmosphere for yourself, and it can set the atmosphere for the room. You know, there's always someone when people walk in, they'll be like, oh, like you're like to other people. You know, different people have different things, but they'll be like, when you come in the room, like your smile can change the whole atmosphere, or like your attitude or your personality, the way you are and how you act, that can change the whole atmosphere, and people will notice that when they're like negative themselves, right? But if you have a whole bunch of people that are just like negative, I think just focusing on your atmosphere, it could really impact the difference of where you're at.
I think a spirit, like kind of going like a spiritual side of it with what are some signs that you have a healthy atmosphere? Is that I think whenever you're going anywhere or whoever it may be, they're showing signs, you know, especially in a church setting. If we're going to talk about church setting, just signs of the fruits of the spirit. I mean, like love, joy, peace, you know, faithfulness, like all the gentleness, like Galatians 5 talks about it. And I think if you're you know producing that fruit, if you're producing things like that, then you can only attract people around you. I mean, you're gonna people are gonna want if they don't become your friend, and I believe they're gonna at least wonder why you are the way you are. You know, why when they're around you there's a sense of peace. Why do they feel they can open up to you? You know, these things that are not normal, you know, begin to happen around you because you're in the room. Like, because, you know, if you feel the Spirit, the Holy Ghost, then, you know, that's God. It's God living inside you. So now you're in the room and God is present. So things change and that are outside our nature. So I feel like, as we encounter these moments and everywhere that we go, we have the ability to literally allow our atmosphere, our experience of God bleed into the room and bleed into the areas that, like, there are these dark hidden spots, and, people are needing some kind of form of light to come through anyway, anyhow, some form of hope. And, you're there, you're in the room. And so things happen, opportunities can take a hold because you're there. I believe that that's a healthy sign. And, if you're wondering, like, how do I acquire these things for those who don't, aren't in the church setting, it's literally in my mindset, I believe it's a relationship with God, learning about who He is. I mean, reading His Word. I would say start with Psalms. Maybe with a little bit of Proverbs. I know we talked about that last couple episodes, but those books of the Bible are kind of how you can see, giving praises to God and things of that nature, why we do what we do. And, ultimately you get to show forth that fruit. So I don't want to take any more time.
No, that's so good. So good.
It is. Well, thank you guys for joining this episode. We hope to catch you in the next one. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Thank you for listening to the Young Talk podcast, where we talk about Christ in culture. We upload a new episode every Friday, so see you next week.